Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lora Rolling and today we are starting part 2 of our Winter Heart Ornament series. So this is the ornament that we are making. I think it's so adorable, don't you? Yesterday we did part 1, which was the flower garden at the bottom. Today we are going to do the big heart. So this is what the unit will look like when we're finished with today's video. And it's just super cute. I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. So I'm super excited. Let's get the material list going. Okay, so starting our material list, we will need beads. We are using the 11.0 Miyuki Delicas for this project, and we're going to use the silver lined light blue, opaque carnation, chalk white, and opaque chartreuse AB. We are also going to need some beading thread. I have the crystal, which is like a white thread, and 4 pound. You can also use the 6 pound thread. And then I'm also using a beading needle size 10. You can use a 10 or a 12. To cut my thread, I use wire cutters. It just cuts it very easily. And then to hold my thread before cutting, I use long nose pliers. And then we are not going to use the ornament in today's tutorial, but this is part 2 of a 5-part series. So by the time we have all our units ready to surround the ornament, we will need a 2.36 inch plastic crafting ornament that you can get at your crafting store in a 12 pack. And then I'm also going to use the fire method to singe off the tip of my tail. So those are the materials that we're going to use today. Go ahead and pour out little piles of your beads. Thread your needle with about 3 feet of thread, and let's get started. So I now have my needle threaded with 3 feet of thread, and I'm going to pick up my first 3 beads. They are all pink. So pick up 3 pink beads, and we're going to slide these down to the end of our thread, and we're going to tie a knot. So we're going to cross over and go under and pull. And then this is a square knot, so we're going to then make another circle on top, cross over, and have the tail go through. So now we have what looks like a little snowman. So we are going to gently pull the top knot, not too tight, but enough to be able to get our fingers, 2 fingers through. And now we are going to singe this little tail. You don't want to touch the tail with the fire, just get close and it will singe it into a little ball. And that is enough for that little knot to catch. So now we take our long thread and we twist our 2 fingers until that little ball reaches this thread. So we're just going to twist it until it reaches. So now we have this. I'm going to take my thumbnail and capture the knot, and then I'm just going to pull the knot down to the 3 beads. So now it looks like you're coming out of that 1 pink bead. So now we're ready to put on our second row of beads, starting with 2 white beads. We're coming out of this 1 pink bead. We're going to go through the next bead. Pull it as tight as you can, and then you should have what looks like this. The next thing we're going to do is pick up 2 pink beads. We're coming out of this pink bead, we're going to sew through the next pink bead. Pull it kind of tight, or what I should call taut, right? And this is what you should have now. Now we're going to pick up 2 more pink beads. We're coming out of this bead, we're going to sew down the next pink and the next white bead. This is called stepping up, which means it's putting your thread in position to start the next row. So now we're starting on row 3. Pick up 2 green beads and sew through the next white bead. Now you'll notice the white bead is kind of sticking up, and then the pink bead right next to it is set back a little bit. But then the next bead, the pink bead, is kind of sticking up just like the white bead. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the bead inside this little slot. The next bead is going to be a pink bead. Pick up 1 pink and sew through that next sticking up bead. So it pops right into that little slot. This is called peyote stitch. Now we're going to pick up 2 pink beads, and we're coming out of this bead, we're going to just sew down the next bead. Now our thread is coming out of this bead that's kind of sticking up. We've got one that's lower next to it, and then one that's sticking up. Pick up 1 pink bead and sew down the sticking up bead. Now we're going to pick up 2 pink beads and sew through the next. Now pick up 1 pink bead, and we're going to skip this lower bead and sew through the next 2 beads. We're stepping up. So you're going to sew through the white bead and the green bead. And now we are ready to start row number 4. Pick up 2 green beads and sew through the next bead. Pick up 1 white bead and sew through the next sticky up bead. Pick up 1 pink bead and sew through the next sticky up bead. You'll notice I'm turning the unit as I'm sewing. Pick up 2 pink beads and sew through the next. One pink bead and sew through the next. 1 pink bead and sew through the next. And now I'm at the corner, so I'm going to turn. Pick up 2 pink beads and sew through the next. Pick up 1 pink bead and sew through the next sticky out bead. Slow and steady wins the race. Pick up one white bead, and now we're going to sew through both of the green beads. We are stepping up to the next row. Pick up two green beads and sew through the next. And I'm sure you've got this by now. One green bead and sew through the next. One pink bead and sew through the next. One pink bead and sew through the next. We're at a corner, so we're going to pick up two pink beads, then we're going to pick up one pink bead, one pink bead, and one pink bead. We're at the corner, so we turn and pick up two pink beads, straightening out our beads as we go. One pink bead, one pink bead, one green bead. And then we're going to sew through that second green bead, stepping up and turn. We're on row 6 now. We're going to start with two green beads, there we go, one green bead, one white bead, one pink bead, one pink bead, turn, two white beads, one pink bead, one pink bead, one pink bead, one pink bead. We're at the corner now, so we're going to turn and pick up two white beads. One pink bead, one pink bead, one white bead, one green bead. And we're going to sew through two beads and step up, starting row 7. Start with two green beads, 1 green bead, 1 green, 1 white, 1 pink, 1 white. We're at the corner, so turn. 2 green, 1 white, 1 pink, 1 pink, 1 pink, 1 white. At the corner, 2 greens, 1 white, 1 pink, 1 white, oh, sorry, just hit my camera, 1 green, 1 green, and sew through 2 beads, stepping up and turn. Now we're going to start row 8 with 1 green and 1 white. One green, 1 green, 1 green, 1 white, 1 white, 1 green, 2 greens, 1 green, 1 white, 1 pink, 1 pink, 1 white, 1 green, 2 green, 1 green, 1 white, 1 white, 1 green. Oh, I see a fuzzy. No fuzzies allowed. 1 green, 1 green, and we are stepping up and starting row 9. The question of the day is, how long have you been beading? I want to know. Comment down below. Alrighty, starting row 9, we're going to pick up 1 green and 1 white. One white, 1 green, 1 green, 1 green, 1 white, 1 green, 1 green, 2 greens, 1 green, 1 green, 1 white, 1 pink, 1 white, 1 green, 1 green, 2 greens, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 white, 1 green, 1 green, 1 green, 1 green, and step up, sewing through 2 greens. And starting row 10, 2 greens. I think I started beading about 15 years ago, and I started beading because I was allergic to metals and I wanted to wear costume jewelry, so I started putting beads between my skin and the metal. I would just bead around my costume jewelry. That's how I started. Alrighty, 1 white, 1 green, 1 and I've been addicted to beading ever since. I absolutely love it. It is so incredibly relaxing. one green, don't you think? One green, one green. And it's funny, tell me that you do the same thing. I try to explain it to my friends who don't bead, and I'm like, there's just something about the way beads feel. It's like so soothing. Yeah, I just love the bead feel in my hand. Anyway, that could just be me. Do you do the same thing? One green, one green, one green, and on the corner we're going to put one green and one blue. One green, one green, one green, one white, one white, one green, one green, one green, and now we're at the corner. We're going to pick up two greens. Okay, one green, one green, one green, one green, one green, one blue, one green, and one green. Then we're going to sew through two beads, stepping up to the next row. Starting row 11, we're going to start with two green beads, one white, one white, one green, one green, one blue, one green, one green, one green, one green. Now we're at the corner, pick up two greens. One green. One green. One green. One green. One white. One green. One green. Oops. Yanked it right out of my hand. One green. One green. Now we're at the corner. Two greens. One green. One green. One green. Oh, that one didn't pop into place. There we go. One green. One green. One green. Got a little rogue bead over here. One green. One green. And one green. Sewing through two beads, stepping up, and now we are starting row 12. This is our final row, and then we're going to do connector beads. So we pick up two greens, one green, one white, one green, 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 and one green. Turning, here's our corner, pick up two greens, one green, one green, 1 green, 1 green, 1 green, 1 green, 1, oops, green, 1 green, 1 green, 1 green. We're at our last corner. We're going to pick up 2 green, 1 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 green, and 1 green. We're going to sew through 2 beads. That was 1, and sewing through our second bead. And now we have finished row 12, and now we're going to add our connector beads. Now our connector beads are going to be let's see, we're going to turn it this way. This is the left side, this is the bottom, and then this is the right side. So we're going to start with the left side. I always have my thumb in what looks like, it's kind of like a cup, because it kind of bends just a little bit, which is perfect because it molds onto the circular part of the ornament, right? So it kind of hugs it with that bend, which is perfect. So my thumb is inside the dent, but so if we flip it over, then this is the part that we actually see on the ornament. So this is the left side, this is the bottom, and this is the right. Okay, so on the left side you'll see that there's a little snowflake, right? And then we have our beautiful big heart. So for the left side connector beads, we're just going to pick up 1 green bead and sew it through the corner. So the very top point has 1 green bead. Then we're just going to sew through without picking up any beads. We're going to sew through all the beads until we get our needle and thread through this bead. Okay, so go ahead and sew through all the beads, and once I work my way just up these edges because they seem to have the least amount of thread. So hiding your thread so that you don't see it at all, work your way through all those beads up until you've come out of this bead, and I will meet you. Okay, so now I'm sewing through this last bead, and we're going to pick up 1 green bead and sew through the corner. And now we are going to add connector beads to the bottom. So all of them are green. So let's start with 1 green bead, 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 1 green, 1 green, and 1 green, 1 green, 1 green, 1 green. Now we are at the corner again, and we're going to add 1 green bead, and now we are going to add green beads, green connectors, all the way up the right side. So 1 green, 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 and 1 last green. Okay, now we're going to sew through this top bead, the corner bead, and now we're going to hide our thread. We're not going to pick up any beads. We're just going to sew through 1, 2, make sure our thread doesn't get caught up on the beads, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to sew down the bead that's just to the right of the bead that we are coming out of. And now we're going to sew up the bead next to that, kind of zigzagging. Then sew up the next bead, up the next bead, down the bead next to that, up the bead next to that, and now we are ready to cut our thread. So I'm going to take my long nose pliers, I'm going to pick up my thread, and I'm going to take my wire cutters, I'm going to pull it just a little bit taut and snip. And that takes the thread and the needle off. Now we have completed our second unit, which is called the Big Heart unit. You need 5 of these in all for this project, so go ahead and make 4 more, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. That was so much fun. Thanks for hanging out with me today and beading along with me during this tutorial. We just finished the second of 4 units. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload another video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.